In the beginning, here is a quote. "A mistake is something that happens accidentally, but cheating and lying are not accidents. They are choices." Let's be real, cheating doesn't come out of nowhere. Here's an example. Cheating is like when you keep putting heavy things on a shelf. And what happens? Before you know it, the shelf has fallen off. That's why we can say that cheating is a process. There are always preventive factors. Listen, a woman who cheats always shows a sign. But nowadays the biggest problem is most men ignore these signs. And in the end, they end up cheated and they ask themselves, how is this possible? It's possible because they think she is just busy, she is just tired, and she just needs space. But behind these excuses, there is a man who deeply knows something is off. Unfortunately, they don't have the courage to say it instead. They believe these false excuses and they waste their time in a relationship that is already doomed. If you've ever experienced this, then this video is for you. So, we will discuss 5 signs that woman shows when they cheat. Sign 1. Her attention shifts and she pretends it hasn't. You don't need to be a psychologist to recognize that her vibe changes. One day she is warm, curious, and caring. The next day, it's like when you are talking to a stranger. She stops asking about your day. She no longer laughs at your stories. She forgets things that she used to remember. And when you recognize these things and you bring it up, you get this answer. You are overthinking it. I'm just tired. You fuss over every little thing. But here is the cruel truth. Women don't pull away randomly. They pull away when their emotional investment shifts elsewhere. Whether it's another man, or just the idea of escaping from the relationship. Her focus is no longer on you, and this is the first crack. But it doesn't stop there. Sign 2. She starts to keep secrets. Cheating doesn't start in the bedroom, it starts in the silence. Now, if she had a long day, she doesn't say anything about it. Instead, she hangs on her phone all day, as if it were glued to her hand. She complains to her friends about you, your mistakes, your bad habits, and how it's a big burden for her. And the translation of this, I'm just in this relationship by compulsion. And if you ask her about these things, you are the jealous one, the controlling one, the toxic one. But what is really happening? She is compartmentalizing. She is splitting her life into 2 lanes, the version of herself that is with you and the version that is starting to slide away from you. We can say she becomes a magician. She will distract you with one hand and she will deceive you with her other hand. Eventually, you think you are crazy, but she only mastered the art of emotional gaslighting. Sign 3. The intimacy vanishes or changes. The biggest red flag is what happens in the bedroom or doesn't. She might suddenly become cold, uninterested, distant, as if touching you takes effort, or she becomes too interested. New moves, different energy, a hunger that wasn't there before. Because when a woman is cheating, she is not just sharing her body, she is redirecting the quantity of her intimacy. Thereby, it will slowly but surely disappear for you, or gets exaggerated. Sex becomes either a chore or a performance, but it's not real anymore. In the end, you feel emptiness, because there is no longer the desire and the intimacy that was there before. Sign 4. She picks fights that don't make sense. You start noticing how the arguments start coming out of nowhere. If you forgot to reply her text, she is acting like you betrayed her and yapping for hours about that. If you left a dish in the sink, now you never listen, and she feels that you're not paying attention to her properly. Listen, this isn't about the text or the dish. This is emotional displacement. And this is one of the biggest signs that someone is struggling with internal conflicts. She is angry, but it's not about you. It's about the guilt that she is trying to suppress. You see, a woman who cheats will often create emotional distance by starting fights. Why? Because guilt is uncomfortable. Being the villain in her own story, it's not appropriate. That's why she flips the script and paints you as the bad guy. So, she can prove to herself that she was right. And in response, if you become distant and cold, then she feels entitled to look elsewhere. It's not cheating anymore. It's coping. It's not betrayal. It's finding herself. And suddenly you are the reason why she had to step out from this relationship. But it's only gaslighting. So don't take the bait. You don't need to argue with someone who is already halfway out the door. Instead, choose peace over chaos. Sign 5. She has no further plans for the future with you. This one hurts the most because it's subtle, it's quiet, and it creeps in like fog. One day, she is talking about vacations with you, but the next day, she wants to travel alone. Or she plans when you will move in together. Now, she has been thinking of moving without you. She wants to develop but never says with you. She wants space to recover, but she never asks you to join her. And when you want to talk to her about this, you are overthinking it. She just needs to figure things out. But in reality, she is completely ignoring you. She is already planning her exit. Listen, women always distance themselves emotionally before they distance themselves physically. That's why you feel like a ghost in your own relationship. That's why her eyes look through you. She already moved on in her mind. You are just a memory. But here is the crucial point. So listen carefully. Don't beg, don't bargain, and be strong enough to walk away. Because here is the truth. If you let someone cross your boundaries once, you have taught them it's okay to do it again. You deserve a healthy, developing relationship, not a manipulative one that depends on lies. In conclusion, be careful of these 5 signs, and if you recognize these in your relationship, ask yourself, I really need this. But finally remember this. You have your hidden value. You need to find it.